haven't even got Sabra. I haven't even got hummus with me. I had some pop chips earlier, though. A small packet.
Oh, that's what I was supposed to get you at Costco was pop chips.
No, don't.
I
I think they're like, I don't know, is it like 119 calories? I don't even know how calories work, but like, that's not a lot, is it?
No.
That's right.
100 calories is like what most diet snacks aim to reach as a target.
Maybe I should have more pop chips. What else do you think is good? And then you sort of like, oh, I had 5 packets today. I'm like,
Yeah,
not so good.
where you take the premise of it and just run with it completely to the other side of the field, and it's it
There's a
doesn't make
small
sense.
packet as well, so bigger packet. I'm not sure. Yeah.
All right, we're live. Good energy.
All
Good energy.
right.
Good energy. Welcome
Fair,
to
we
the
didn't
show.
know we were live. We were talking about hummus.
I know. Content Kings as per usual. So, welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for joining us. Jirai over here in 213. Did I get it right?
Welcome.
For the first time?
Of course you did.
Eva 213.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, might as well get right into this coronavirus and get it out of the way, I guess, so we don't have to talk about it.
There's no shortage of hummus just yet.
No, that's good. Don't mention it because then people will start buying it up.
I don't eat hummus anyway, so I will disrupt the airwaves.
What's your-
Hummus is disappearing, people.
Wow.
Go buy it. It's dangerously low levels throughout the world.
Why you want to do that to us? To the hummus eaters of
Do
the
you
world.
eat hummus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much everybody eats hummus.
Except for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't mind causing a global panic about the availability of hummus.
Well, we'll see how things are when you're wiping
Hashtag
your ass with your
selfish.
hands. Because there's no toilet paper left.
Toilet paper.
Yeah. Nope. Nope.
No, I think, actually, I was talking about this a while. So, the whole stockpiling thing. So, I think you're just going to have to, like, clean your ass with, like, the water bottle, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Like a douche.
Yeah, pretty much. But then I was wondering about how that all works. Because when I went to Dubai, I think that was the first time I really noticed that, like, in the toilets, you know, like a pipe. But also, at uni, I used to go to, like, my, like, friend's house, and they used to have, like, a water bottle in the toilet. And I was like, what's that about? You know, like, oh, I'm pissing, so I need to hydrate. I was not too sure. I was just like, that's
No.
really weird. But then I found out afterwards, I was like, all right.
So they're using literally just a plastic bottle
Yeah, with water and just kind of...
and just spraying it and just, you
Well,
know.
this is
it's
the thing. I mean, I feel like it could get all messy. You know, maybe it's like...
Also, you wouldn't want to use that bottle too many times because you just think like,
But you're not shoving it right up your
I
ass.
think-
no,
yeah,
but if it's still splashing about, like you're just recycling.
Yeah. Well, it was like, okay, yes, hygiene being like the largest benefit you could get from that. But also I was thinking, oh, maybe it's like to reduce toilet roll? But then you need toilet roll to dry off.
Yeah, but you're just drying off.
Yeah, I could just use
Water,
maybe like a wad of five sheets.
Yeah. Because if you're not,
Fold
because you
it
gotta,
together and
you
do
gotta
that.
clean
Yeah.
that stuff out, and then you gotta dry.
Yeah.
You know?
So
I mean, we use those wipes and shit. That's like preempts the wipe thing.
Oh,
right?
can I just reminds me of fucking like
Uh-oh.
flashback. So when I
Oh God.
When you were
This is
taking
not,
a shit.
so when I worked at a previous agency, it's just so funny. There was this. I don't even want to get too many details, but I like to paint a picture of a character. That was a Greek guy, and he was kind of ambiguous. He was just like, is he gay? Is he just, I don't know, kind of like feminine the way he, like, his like gestures and his gestures. And it was just so obvious every time he was going to take a shit, because he would take, like, and lie about it. It was just like,
Some people don't care. I mean, I don't.
well, he's, you know, he's proud.
Yeah. It's like, pfft, you're gonna shit too. I'm gonna shit. So
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
never like, you know, the people that say that they can't like do it at work or whatever.
right.
I've never been one of those people. If I'm going, I'm going. Doesn't matter where I am,
That's
I'm
the
going.
thing. I think there's a couple of girls who've told me, I just won't do it at work. And then actually, funnily enough, I think like they've actually gone on to develop problems like IBS and shit like that. And I'm a bit
Really?
like, I feel like it's a kind of, I don't even know how you can physically repress it for that long without something
That's the thing.
like...
It's not good for you if you've been.
Yeah,
if you need it
exactly.
at like, so, I don't know, you get in at 9, and like you
9:15.
feel it's coming on at 9:15,
Yeah.
9:30, and you're like, oh, I can't do anything until like 5, half 5,
Yeah.
whatever. Like no, like why would you even put yourself through that? That's not a comfortable day.
But also with this Greek guy at the agency, he's hairy. He was hairy. So I think the whole like dangleberry situation was really...
Mom's House podcast that I watched with the two comedians. one of their engineers, he doesn't go, but like he doesn't go enough, but he doesn't go but like maybe like once a week.
What?
What?
No, something's
Yeah.
wrong. He's probably just gonna
that's just
instantly die all of a sudden,
No,
and they're
once
like,
a
maybe
week.
we were wrong. Maybe.
Once a week he goes, but I mean, once a day is ideal. But
Yeah.
you don't have to go every day, apparently.
What?
I mean, you
But
don't
once
have
a
to.
week. Come on.
I'm not
that's
saying once a
extreme.
week. I'm not saying once a week. That's obviously.
Well, no, that's that guy,
That's
right?
that guy.
He's got a problem. And then again, how big is that shit?
Or when it comes out,
Yeah.
it's not satisfying.
It's like
He
you're
is not
giving
enjoying
birth through your ass.
he probably is enjoying it. I think.
Oh, he's enjoying
yeah,
it.
right. Oh, yeah, right. Because he's like,
Exactly.
Oh, it's
Holding
nasty.
in though is kind of well. I remember when the Nintendo Wii came out,
No.
right? Okay, well when the Nintendo Wii came out,
Yeah,
however
Nintendo
many years,
Wii. Go
Yeah.
on.
and there was apparently a competition, hold your Wii for a Wii,
Oh, fucking hell. Like,
Yeah.
that is unhealthy.
and someone
Yeah,
like
very.
developed like a severe problem because they like, but I think they was wetting themselves,
What the hell?
and then. Yeah, this guy that won it in the end, like, developed like a severe problem because he like literally held on for so long that he developed some like poison.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
get
know.
bladder poisoning.
Yeah,
But also,
Um,
the worst marketing strategy I've
I
ever
know,
heard
right?
of. I mean,
well, it wasn't
honestly.
Nintendo doing it. It wasn't Nintendo like,
Oh,
oh
right,
hey,
I know.
Probably
it
some
was.
radio station that bought
yeah,
one.
it would have been
you know,
yeah,
like,
it would have been
promotes
one of those kind of
promotions.
things.
I already
It would
thought
have
it
been
was
like
great.
us.
Nintendo for a second.
Some shit we should do next time they launch a new Wii and just fucking promote it like that and do a podcast. Be like, I bet you really gotta pee, don't you? You really want this? How much do you want it? But no, fuck that. That's stupid. That's stupid. It's kind of like when you have to put your hand on a car and you can't take your hand off the car, you know, or else you lose the car or something like
Oh.
that. So
Do people actually do that?
yeah, I've seen that before. It's pretty cool.
But that's an American thing, right?
I
You don't get
guess.
it over.
I guess if you want to call it that, I won't.
You know, I'd actually be really interested to see that here because it would develop violence. I'd try
take your
it.
hand off. Yeah,
I'd be intrigued just to try it. You just, I don't know.
yeah.
I'll be intrigued to try and trick people as well and just be like, oh, I don't know. However you can trick people to take their hands off stuff.
So you guys both work in corporate world. How's coronavirus affecting your lives?
It's kind of quiet.
Hmm.
That's about all I have from our end. It's quiet.
It's made me
Really?
realize my employer doesn't give a shit about me.
No,
So
well,
that's
yeah.
good. I mean, I already knew it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They weren't tricking me, but I'm what? Because I work in an agency. I just thought, oh, you know, like, oh, it's just an agency thing. They're like, gotta produce those hats or whatever, you know. But then I was talking to a colleague. She's like, no, pretty much every other agency is closed down and work from home. And I'm like,
Wow.
cool. And then I'm asking my boss if I can work from home and feeling kind of guilty. I think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be feeling too guilty.
Yeah, so they're trying to isolate certain parts of the building. And, you know,
They are desperate to keep you guys.
areas. But it is empty. That's just the thing. It kind of annoys me. It doesn't seem like the same rules are being applied equally. So I'm just like, okay. Fuck it. Got to take things into my own hands.
Facts, dude. That's
You know, extra measures. I won't come in for another 2 weeks up to that. So I'll be gone for a month.
You know what I know? Turn up, right? Turn up and come in, but turn up in full, like, you know, World War
hazmat.
Z,
yeah, hazmat.
gas
gear.
mask, head to toe, yellow suit, like,
Oh,
walk
yeah.
around like Darth
Beastie
Vader
Boys.
style. Like, literally, like, make the effort to be as annoying and as out of the way crazy as possible.
Hasn't
And
Naomi
then-
Campbell done that? She was like put something on Insta recently, like today. She was taking, I don't know where she's taking a flight, but she turned up in a full hazard suit.
I just think it's wild that I can't go to the store and just buy food and toilet
Toilet roll.
paper so I can wipe my ass, even though I do got a little bit of a stockpile over there. So, but the average people,
But if you go on a day-to-day basis, if you go into Tesco's after lunch, no toilet roll left.
I went in there today after I left Costco, and there was only Tesco toilet paper on the shelves, and they had quite a bit of it.
The
Is it a big- is it a big
sandpaper
one?
Stuff.
As a big Tesco's.
Well, it's the one. Yeah, I mean it's kind of big. It's not an express, but it's not. It's not like the one in Weybridge.
Oh,
Like,
quite so-
not like anybody out there knows about that.
People just need to stop like panicking too much and stockpiling. Like the end of the world is not yet nigh.
No, we're creating it, I think.
Yeah.
I think we're creating it, and I think it's just, like we were saying, gas prices are going down, and people are going to take advantage of this very, very soon, and you're going to see a change in cost of things. Things are going to start costing a lot of money soon.
Oh, no.
Because we can't get it to you. They did this shit when the gas prices went up, and the truckers were like, we're going on strike because fuel is too expensive. So, or if it's too expensive, it costs me $500 to fill up my truck instead of $300. They pass the cost, the difference off to us. Because they're the one delivering the wine and the food and whatever. So,
Fuck this.
Anyway. So, dead air.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm just feeling a little bit depressed now. I really do
Why?
feel like this is orchestrated.
It
you know what I mean? Exactly. And
is.
it's just like, how fucking, cynical is that? Just like, all in the name of money. I feel
That's
so
what it all comes
fucked
down
up.
to. That's what I was saying earlier. You turn on the TV and the first thing they're talking about in relation to this is it'll be like, oh, coronavirus is spreading X amount of new cases. And the next sentence isn't about isn't speaking to doctors and how we can combat it and blah, blah, blah. The next thing is, and this is what happened to the stocks and this is what happened to companies and this is who's losing money and blah, 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 blah.
it's all a tie-in. So they want to let you know that there is a rational reason behind why it's going to cost you more to do this, that, and the other, and why you're losing money on this, that, and the other because of this.
But it's still because it's several greedy people at the top of the pile just going, ha, we're just going to charge you more.
But that's what they do.
We're going to use this opportunity to make more money rather than
Yes.
less money.
Sure, why not? That's what they do. That they're in a position to do that, and they have the ability to do it on a global scale, and they're going to do it.
Yeah. It's cheaper than starting another world war.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the
And-
new platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
This and tech start hacking into stuff, and
It's all about the biohazard.
that's
Terrorism.
crazy. So,
Chemical
bioterrorism.
warfare.
Yeah.
Bioterrorism.
Biological.
Biological
Yeah.
warfare.
Biological warfare. There we go.
Yeah.
Got there in the end.
Anyway, so moving along then, screw that shit. Let's talk about Harvey Weinstein. He got 20, was it 23? I don't have it in
23
front of me.
years.
23
Yeah.
years in prison. And I think he's in a hospital right now.
For what?
I thought I had a drop queued up for this. I don't see it on here now.
They're BSing. He does not need to go to hospital.
Oh yeah, this is like, oh, he's gonna not serve his sentence. And be like, oh, he was gonna go early
He's too
because of
ill now to
compassionate
go to prison.
grounds or some bullshit.
He said he was having chest pains. I had like the best fucking shit queued up for it too, and I don't know where it is. Hopefully this is it, but I don't see it.
Well, it's probably like a fucking panic attack. Cause like I got caught.
Yeah. He had chest pains. He's having a heart attack. He's like you said, this is a panic attack. Probably.
Yeah.
He's finally in the clink.
It's a realization of where he's now, instead of like people walking into his office and him whipping his penis out, he's going to be walking into showers and other people are going to be whipping their penis out in front of him.
Ouch.
And he's going to be going,
No, that's not gonna happen. He's on a floor all by himself.
oh no,
right
yeah,
now.
Oh,
he's dead.
shut
He's
up.
not going to prison.
This is bullshit.
He's not going to every day-
Bullshit.
Pound me in the ass prison.
Yeah, he's
No.
not going to Shawshank.
He
He's
needs
going
to.
He's going to have kind of in a nicer setting. He's going to have like the Goodfellas prison that they had,
Exactly.
where they had a floor and they had their own food and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's a hotel room at
This
that
is
point.
bullshit.
It's a long-term hotel. This is
He'll be dead soon.
Yeah, I
He's
was
not-
gonna.
he'll
Well,
be
do you
dead
think the
soon.
whole
Yeah,
kind of like
he'll be dead soon.
Epstein thing? I think he should be raped in the shower at least once. That's like at least
As like
once,
He
you
probably-
know, just
As like a
like a
karma
little,
comeback.
yeah, just like that's what you get. That's what I felt like. Yeah, you know
I
what
don't
I
think
mean.
that's going to be what it felt like, but there you go.
I think it might happen.
I hope so.
I don't know if he's gonna. He can't remain on an entire floor by himself. I don't know. I don't know how that's structured, but
I mean, that's ridiculous.
we should have a prison expert on the phone. Maybe next week. I didn't even think about it.
It's another systemical thing, which is a wind-up. Okay, I do have something like a general wondering about like the sentence though, because this is what kind of confused me. It was 23 years, and the way that it was split up was there's there was sexual assault accounted for 20 of the years, and the rape only accounted for 3. Like, how is it that way round?
But say
How
again.
For like it was based on 2 charges. One of the charges was like criminal sexual assault or something like that.
That's
And
one charge.
Was one charge, which got him 20 years,
Yeah.
and the actual rape was 3 years.
What?
Exactly.
Should be the other way around,
They carry less. They just carry less in the state that he was in. Less.
But
That's
it's just strange that,
absolutely.
like, the rape is like almost considered the less serious thing,
I think
and the sexual assault is like the thing which apparently is the thing that gets you in prison. That's all. It's an encouragement for rapists in a way, is it not?
Just like exercise a little bit of self-control.
I,
Oh, sorry.
I
But
think-
no, it's the other way around.
Yeah, no, it's way less self-control.
Go full out.
Yes, if you're gonna do this, fucking
Yeah,
go
yeah.
literally all the way in, because otherwise we can't help you.
I think the sexual assault entails something different and something a bit more sinister than the actual rape in the eyes of the description of the law. That's why it gets more, because it involves more than, because rape can be. Oh man, I'm gonna get killed for this.
I know. I was just
gonna
thinking,
say, I
be
can
fucking
see I can see your brain cogging, just
This
going,
is
"Ah,
going, fuck. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
already opened the can. But rape can be 2 people at a party and we had sex, and then I was drunk and it wasn't really.
Yeah, but
consensual.
that's not the situation here.
I know, but under the eyes of the law, it doesn't matter. It's the minutia non-existent in the case. It's
Yeah.
the facts.
Isn't it? Even if you had if you were, what's the legal age of sex in this country? 16.
Yeah.
So if you were 16 and a half and you had sex with your girlfriend, let's say who's 15 and a half,
It's
that
technically rape.
yeah, isn't it?
Statutory
So
rape,
yeah.
Even though you could still be in the
Even though
same.
you had consent.
You could also still be in the same like school year, and you could turn 16, and your girlfriend who you've been with for doesn't matter how long
Yeah.
could be 15.
Most people I know are rapists. I'm a rapist in that regard, because my girlfriend was younger than me when I was in high school. So I was 18, she was 17, and we were having sex. So that makes me a rapist then, right?
Suspected.
So
Was the legal age 18? The legal age was 18 where you were.
It is 18 in the States.
18.
Yeah.
But it's this strange line where it's not like.
I don't
That's not what it is.
understand.
That's not what it is. Legally, that's what it is. But that is just obviously clearly not what it is.
I just feel I can't even really get into political conversation. I just don't have the knowledge. But I just feel like with the states, federal, some things should be fucking uniform. Just like, come on, like, I just don't think that's right. Like, if you're gonna have why do some states are like 16, others are 18, whatever. I just feel just have some fucking uniformity.
In some states,
On
doesn't it go down
issues
to
like
15?
that.
In some states, it doesn't go down to 15.
No. 16.
Really, I actually felt like I read somewhere it was like something ridiculously low, and I was like, "Whoa."
I don't think so. I've never heard that, because I'm pretty sure 16 is as low as you can go on that, and I was surprised to hear that it was that. So, unless things have changed.
I thought I'd heard that somewhere it was 15, but I don't know.
I thought I had it was 14.
Nah, thought wrong. Definitely not.
That wrong.
Thought wrong. Definitely not. Maybe marriage or something in one of these backwards ass, states, down south, and I'm not going to name one, because then I'll be
Then
getting
you will
hate.
get destroyed.
Yeah, then they'll be coming at me like I give a fuck. So, so Harvey Weinstein, you're trash. We get some, you're an idiot, and I hope you get bum raped in prison. Probably it would have to be by a guard, because he's gonna, if they keep him in isolation, which they're going to, and he's greasing up the guys, and then they're gonna slowly he'll ratchet up what they want, and they'll get greedy because he's got means. It's kind of like what happened with John Gotti when he went to prison, because he's a gangster, and he's got money and he wants to pay for protection. Then they started milking him,
100%.
They want you to bring your people bringing in drugs, and I need your women to start bringing me this and knives and da-da-da. And if he doesn't do it, then bye-ow. So, see what happens.
I don't know. I would just say I hope he gets what's coming to him. 23 years doesn't I wouldn't say cuts it anyway. And the fact that the rape charge, well, I know that there's like the way that the law can view it is that like the sexual assault aspect of it can be like more sinister. It may be in terms of like planning and long term.
Yeah, there's things more involved with that.
Yeah.
So they consider
Rape
it,
is more spontaneous.
you're right. So they
Really?
consider
I don't really think that's.
Well, no, I don't think that's right whatsoever.
It's not doesn't make it
I think-
right, but it's just
I think that's how
makes
the
it
law views
worse.
it in terms of like in the same way that like grooming can be considered worse because the grooming can take like place over like a period of like weeks or months or years.
Yeah.
So like you're committing multiple felonies each time you do it, but it's one umbrella charge. I don't know. I still think that rape should carry more of a. It should be because that's insane.
I think he should become like some prison bitch. You have to like give blowjobs and shit all the time. And just
Be like the sisters in The Longest Yard, one of them ones.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan, except he'll be a big white guy.
Yeah, no, they won't do that to him. They can't sell him. It'd be nice.
Yeah, people were like.
The thing with it is though is when you're thinking about like prison, somebody like that is a trophy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
and they
of
try
as
to
well.
hurt you. They want to take a pencil and stab you with it and break it off in you.
Ooh.
That's the kind of shit they do. Like there's a guy called Scott Peterson who killed his wife and their kids, and you know he's on TV. I can't find my wife, and end up it was him. They want him, and I've heard inmates say that he's in San Quentin in California. They're like he's a trophy, but he's in solitary confinement. They're like if we can get our hands on him. He's like, oh yeah.
If we can do it, we'll make it happen.
He's like, you take a pencil and you stab him right in the rib cage and then you break it off because they can't get that out.
Is it because he killed his kids as opposed to his wife?
Yeah.
It's like it's always like the kids.
It's both because I think there was there was probably a rape component to it. I don't know. I don't. It's years ago, but anytime you kill kids, you're done.
I was gonna say there's like a code in prison itself in terms of like if you've basically done anything with children is considered like the worst thing.
Yeah.
you
So
can't
if
do that
it's
shit.
paedophilia, killing children,
Anything.
things like that, that's that's when you're wanted.
Yeah.
And then
But
like, do you
also
think
if you're-
rapists are like just
if you're
above
also
that?
a name
like,
as well.
Yeah.
Which is why I mean obviously Epstein was killed by some undercover jobby, no doubt.
Oh, that was money that got him. You know,
And power.
Yeah.
Well, him having
Oh, the
info
secrets.
on powerful people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can't have
But
him.
like there would have been every single prisoner in that place would have wanted to be the guy that.
The
Put one
queen
out on
was
him.
like,
Yeah.
get rid of him.
Yeah, you know, it's like we know where he is and we got him like in a cage.
Yeah.
So now he's in a cage.
An easy hit.
Yeah.
He's an easy hit, you know.
100%.
And you think about how gangsters operate. If we robbed a bank and then fucking somebody starts talking, we gotta get rid of her because she's gonna endanger us.
Fuck you guys. I wouldn't be the first to talk. I wouldn't be.
And we get more money.
Yeah.
Because then we only gotta split this shit up
I'd kill you guys.
50%. See, that's why we really gotta bump her
Yeah.
up first.
That's why she's got to go first because she's the dangerous one.
For real.
Ah.
For real. So, what else do I got for you guys? Oh, yes. In other you was wrong kind of news. Oh, I can't wait to tell you about this one. We already saw this. We talked about it briefly. We didn't really talk about it.
I was wrong. Specifically?
No.
Okay.
There's this wonderful TV show, and it was broadcast here in the UK, and I think they did about 9-10 episodes. It had like John Laurie in it and James Beck and whatever. But the show was called Heil Honey, I'm Home. And it's a show about Adolf Hitler and how he basically just lives now. And he's functioning. And he's dressed up in his Hitler shit. And the TV show was supposed to be a piss take on like American sitcoms at the time, and it was probably in the 70s. It looks like, but yeah, highly inappropriate. I feel a bit strange, and but interesting. But I was trying to figure out why this would even get put to the table and brought forward. You know,
This is broadcast in the 1970s.
yeah,
So-
I think so. I have to look it up, but yeah.
I think I listened to a podcast about this on. I think it's on Wondery. It's called. What is it? This Imagine Life, My Imagine Life, and they talk about people who are very successful, usually in like the creative field. But they talk about
1990.
1990 maybe, and I think
90.
one of the creators of the show, they did a whole episode dedicated to him, and the irony is that he's Jewish.
Is he?
Yeah, and I think he was getting like, they were like, oh my god, I can't believe they would bring all this shit, you know, I put this on TV, And he was just like, I'm the one who's laughing the most at these jokes. So I think it was that guy. I'm not sure.
I think at some point during, like, you know, the pitching process and then, like, people kind of, like, throwing ideas out there, someone must have probably gone, like, is it too soon? Should we actually do this? And someone's like, yes, fine. Like, yeah, you know, 50 years or whatever it is has gone by. Let's just, yeah, everyone's ready.
Right.
When is everyone really going to be ready for a program like that? Like, if you did it now, it wouldn't be any less. I mean, more people would take offense to it now.
Do you think so?
More people take offense to it in that because if you've got like a viral culture, like
Yeah, I think now it would probably be a bit of a bigger deal.
it'd be made more of a big deal because it would also go like worldwide instantly. Like if you tried to bring that out today,
So they had like 10 some odd episodes and they only did the pilot, and then after the pilot they were like,
But I
Cut
think
it.
if he's being ridiculed,
no.
oh, he's not being ridiculed.
No,
Oh, maybe
there
this is
was
not the
there was
point.
no play on like how bad a person he was or anything. He was just Hitler, and he was, you know,
as
living
in like
his-
in his day-to-day life sort of thing.
yeah, you know,
So, like, in hiding,
his
and people
wife's
like,
baking
oh.
cookies and shit like that. You know, I think it probably would have been more successful if it had been like a sketch, and it was like, it was, you know, a couple minutes long, but it's not enough material to like to do a whole show on, so it was a bit weird. But like an SNL sketch or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I was gonna say if you have it as part of like I don't know, and I'm not even gonna like try and say it, but like as part of like a Key and Peele sketch. Key and Peele do like Nazi like things within their sketches, like that'll be like 30 seconds to a minute long.
Right.
But because it's a part of a whole show, it's kind of you kind of wash over that, or like because you're already in a good mood, that's just a part of it.
Yeah.
And like part of it is to like elicit a reaction, but
Did you
I
send
don't understand
us-
why you would make a whole program about it anyway. Like a full on like half an hour block of this is Hitler.
Well, it's called like it falls into this category in film that they call like I think it's like stealth parody or something like that, and it's like they pretend to be a serious project, but it's like completely absurd. Like Spinal Tap. Have you ever seen Spinal Tap before?
Yeah, I've seen the beginning or exit through the gift shop.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
I actually thought that was a sincere documentary.
so yeah, so it's like a total mockumentary. It's just completely over the fucking top, and it's designed to be a parody, you know, but it just didn't work.
Did you guys watch American Vandal?
No.
That was quite funny.
Wasn't that about the guy who drew the penises everywhere or something?
Yeah,
Like
and he like drew it on his teacher's car and stuff. It was funny.
No.
There's another one.
So I think for this, it's like because we know it's so totally insane and politically incorrect, we immediately buy into it. Like we'll watch it. We're like, oh yeah, it's Hitler and he's, you know, making lasagna or whatever. We'll watch it, but it's ridiculous, and it was definitely wrong that they put this shit out. But you know, whatever. So. I don't like when she doesn't drink. She has nothing to say.
She's
just
a-
like,
That's
She's-
absolute bullshit.
she's a lot more
Are you
accepting.
fucking
yeah,
kidding me?
she's flatlining.
Are
She's
you
not
kidding
challenging
me?
anything. She's challenging me upstairs on my description of
Yeah,
time
because you said some stupid shit. So yes, I needed
versus-
to
versus-
counteract it.
versus what? I said I saw something. Just saw something.
I just saw something.
Yeah,
It
like,
sounds
like within the last
it's
year.
The credits are running on the TV. That's
I-
not what
no,
it sounds
I
like. And then
didn't-
you're like, oh, a year ago. It's like, that's not just watch
It
something.
is.
Maybe
It's not the
even
predicate
extending it
nominative.
to a
It's
week,
not.
that's like you didn't just watch something.
I just
did
watched
you?
that last week.
Yeah, okay, that
Yeah,
just
see-
about. That's
see-
the limit. That's the limit.
Why? There's no limit on
That's a
the
limit.
word. There's
That's
no
a limit.
limit. Get the fuck out of here. I just watched that like 2 months ago.
No, I'm sorry, you're extending the limit. It's not good.
you could kind of
I
get away
just-
with that.
No, I
Or-
just went to the toilet. It just means like, you know, probably in the last
Wait,
hour.
do you know what
I
else, though?
just saw Jenny podcast the last time I was in the States, like 6 months ago. I just saw.
I was
it.
gonna say,
Nah,
depending on
nah,
like
too long.
the magnitude of the event means you can get away with more. So like, you wouldn't say I just went to the toilet 6 months ago because that wouldn't make any
Oh
sense.
no, okay.
because that's something
okay.
you do every
Because
day.
yeah,
right?
So
yeah.
when in that context, it's I just did that. But because everyone knows that, like, if I don't know, if you go to the States once a year, you can get away with the just depending on the context.
I think the just is the same day.
Or someone okay. So for example, right, coronavirus originated in Wuhan. someone at some point in like the last month, even though it started a few months ago, has been like, I was just in Wuhan.
Right.
So
Even
I was
though
like,
it,
were you there the last week? That's what I would say. And if not,
no, but they would be like,
stop
oh no,
using
but it was like September or whatever they
I
would
mean,
say.
like, you weren't just there. You know, we'll have arguments. So, yeah.
You were just there. So what happened with the protests over in Hong Kong? We don't hear anything about that shit anymore, do we?
Maybe that's where they released the virus.
Thank you.
No, it's not about Hong Kong
Been
protests. That
taken
wouldn't
off
be
the
it.
air.
It would be the Americans not wanting China to get 5G,
Well,
or Americans
5G's
being
done.
scared of China being the major global economy.
Yeah,
so
well,
let's
that's done too. That's
let's
why
apparently call
that's
it
why they launched
something.
it.
Isn't it the new kind of rumor of the origination is something, but some cross between a snake and a bat, or they mixed DNA somehow and that got into someone's bloodstream.
I thought the
Like, that's
bat was like
thing.
the whole SARS thing.
Apparently, this originated from bats, but that I've recently in the last few days I've been hearing bats and snakes, some kind of hybrid mixed thing of bats and snakes.
I have no idea.
And
I don't watch the news on that stuff. I
Maybe
couldn't care
originated
less.
from
All I know is I just need to keep my hands clean and don't touch my face.
I mean, this is shit we should be implementing all the time.
Thank you.
I love it. I mean, I feel like we should. Nah, it's no.
It's
I
all
was
shit
gonna say
we
we
should
should
be
always
doing.
have this level of information out there. I'm like, people should know.
No,
You should be like, have you gone to school?
right.
Have you
you should
learned
know to
anything?
wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Everyone should be washing their hands. I went to the gym today and I wear gloves in the gym anyway, just to grip and whatever, and I want calluses on my hands. The guy's like, why do you wear gloves? I'm like, because I've worked in gyms for years, and I know that people come out of that bathroom and don't wash their
Yeah,
hands.
it's like you got fecal shit on your
Right.
hands right
I'm
now.
like, all this stuff in here
Yeah.
is disgusting. But I don't know. You said, it's just what we should be doing. I agree.
Or people like sneezing a fucking tissue. Like, why? I was like, what? I'm just sneezing tissues now.
Yeah.
Well, just like if you're a bit ill, stay at home. Even if you've got like a little sniffle. Not even with this coronavirus. So you should always stay at home.
Oh, nobody does that though.
No.
Nobody does that.
I do.
The thing that I think we just missed out on, and I want to thank all of you people out there that are hoarding toilet paper, buying up all the fucking pasta. You can make pasta at home. Come on, make pasta.
How do you do that?
All the people that are doing that, and this ties into what you said about the government releasing it because China's, coming in to be the global economic powerhouse and a few other bits that I completely agree with that we discussed offline. We were poised this year to see the aliens. It was gonna fucking happen.
Really?
And now it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why I think that. Because the government never want to tell us any of this shit because they know that the public is going to panic and freak out. You can't even handle a fucking virus without panicking like the zombie apocalypse. There's too much Walking Dead on TV. So now everyone's freaking out. And the government's like, we can't tell them about aliens. They can't even handle this. Look
But
at how
why-
they're acting.
Wouldn't this be in a way a good time to kind of ease it in a bit more?
No.
Just drop it in.
No,
Just drop it in.
In,
Like,
absolutely
bury it,
not.
Because you can
No.
kind of be like, oh, this spacecraft arrived, but corona, and then you kind of just weave it in like that a little bit, just a
Yeah,
little bit more.
yeah. Like
I
a news
completely
dump.
agree with you though. The whole aliens coming was starting to get really primed because
was
the
gonna
amount of videos that you started seeing of like, and it would be things that they would never have seemed to have shown before, and it would be like military plane spots UFO that disappears, blah blah blah, and they'd have loads of things about like giving it more credibility than just like some crazy guy like on his farm who's just like, oh, I saw a light and it went and da da da. Like it was starting to be like official government photo show da 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 da.
I
This and that.
mean,
It was starting to become more of a real thing, and now it's dead.
Yeah, it's done. We're not getting that.
why do you think it was this year? Because of this like lead up to like
It was like
nobody
From-
actually ever came out. Like there wasn't like some like release of information or something. There was no like official. It was like we're gonna have an alien announcement in 2020.
There wasn't, but there was
it's
a
just
lot
build
of
up.
shit. Like, remember the I don't know if you watched it. You probably didn't watch it. There was a Joe Rogan podcast with shit. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. He did a Netflix special. I'm not gonna look it up, but he used to work at Area 51, and he's
I've seen that. I think I've seen
yeah,
that.
the guy's legit telling. He's like, these guys have no reason to lie about any of this stuff. I worked on the goddamn spacecrafts. I worked on them, and he described everything. And all this information's out. All this stuff's coming.
Yeah.
And then you had storming Area 51 last year, last year. I don't know if anything really happened with that.
No one turned up.
Yeah.
But there's all this stuff. Even President Clinton tried to get information, and they're like, "We're not telling you shit." So it's time. The flat Earth people are losing their minds. Aliens and all this other shit is ripe, and I think that we just ruined it. And if we do see it, it'll be after the election. It'll be after Trump gets elected. And it seems like something like this tends to happen around election time. Hurricanes that are heading off into the Atlantic. Obama's losing the election. They turn left and start heading towards New York.
Interesting.
Right towards
so you're
New York.
thinking all that stuff is man-made.
Yeah, come on, please.
Well, I don't know how they can do it, but, that's
It's this thing called high auroral atmospheric something pressure HARP, basically, in Washington that manipulates the weather. And that's how they do it. So they activate that shit, and that's when a hurricane that's going like that goes like this and starts veering towards the eastern seaboard. And then Obama's a hero, and then he ends up winning re-election when he was losing.
But the thing is, if I was part of a government or something, I'd probably be advising them, okay, right, we need to tell the people, the public about these aliens, let's make them out into heroes. So we can have the coronavirus come out. And then who's going to come up with the anecdotes? The aliens delivering the anecdotes in the little spaceships?
It'd be way too convenient almost for aliens to just come and be the heroes. Like, just to come here just right on time, like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Like, they turn up at the last moment, like, antidote.
Yeah.
We gotcha. We've been watching this whole time, and we gotcha.
Alien anecdote.
Sorry. No, I agree. I think we missed out on something. That's all I'm saying.
I genuinely did feel like something was primed. It seemed to be so much more kind of, I don't know, just like official things which were kind of like confirming these things, but no one seemed to be actually saying it on the news about like UFOs and like you say, Storm Area 51.
Well, we gotta wait till next year.
All the things, I mean, to be honest, if you've read a few articles here and there, and like, I'm sorry, what, we're just gonna get them to confirm it, maybe give us a few more details. Like, it's real. That's like, I don't feel like anybody should be shocked by this.
Aliens or Corona?
Aliens.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be like, oh, yeah, cool, thanks.
Right.
Like,
I
do you want to share some details, or?
People will probably kick up less of a fuss than people think that they would have done. This almost would have been a bigger deal, like 30 years ago, for example. Now, people would there would be a huge portion of the world that would probably turn around and be like, "Yeah, I thought they were out there anyway." So the fact that we now know they're here, all right, okay. Like,
confirmation would be nice. It's kind of like the flat Earth thing. It's like people say the Earth's flat, people say the Earth's round. Whoever's proven right at the end of the day, we all still gotta fucking go to work the next day. You know, doesn't mean anything once we decide what's what. Anyway, take us to Florida, bro. What's going on in Florida? What do you got for us?
I don't know if you've queued up. Oh no, did you press it?
Oh, we're in there.
Oh, you pressed it. Okay.
Your drop's already been dropped, baby.
So, a woman in Florida, she lost her wedding ring.
Wait, is this a Florida woman? Wow,
yes.
This is Florida with a twist.
Oh, to be fair, yeah. It's normally, oh no, he Florida didn't. But really, it should be, oh no, they Florida didn't.
Oh,
maybe we should change the soundbite because we aren't appealing to all the people,
all the genders,
all the Floridians,
all the pronouns in Florida.
So oh no, they Florida didn't. She lost her wedding ring and it went to a landfill, and she went to the landfill to find it.
Oh,
but it's more that it pushes me to a broader question to you guys. What lengths would you go to for, say, so give me like the most treasured thing you have. What lengths would you genuinely go to get it back? The most treasured thing you have. Like, if you lost something small, would you go to a landfill? And I mean, like, let's just say a landfill 3 times the square footage of this house. Would you sift through stuff to pick out your most treasured thing?
I'll let Rai answer that because I don't have anything that means that much to me. I don't think.
To be honest, not do I. Not do I. I mean, once, I lost it. I'm pretty sure I lost it. I got a cross for my confirmation. It was gold and it had like a little ruby. It was from my godmother. And I lost it.
Did you even look for it? Never mind.
Yeah, I
Ruby.
did. I looked for it. I remember I took it to my uni residence. Well, no, it wasn't a halls. It was like in a flat. Don't even know why the fuck I would take it. Like, it's stupid. And
Such a strange
it's such,
thing
yeah,
to
exactly.
uni.
And I'm just gonna start wearing my crucifix now. Getting it with the Christian Union or something. And I don't know why I had it. And I lost it. I remember asking my flatmate, like, have you seen it or anything? But that was pretty much the extent of what I said. But also, I think it's because it was from my godmother, but there wasn't a lot of sentimental value. I didn't really have a very close relationship with her, like, after a while. And maybe it was, if there was more, it was more intertwined with sentimental value, then I would have looked. But to be honest,
I would go the distance if it was something important, but I don't know if I'd be digging through trash. But it depends on what it is, I guess.
Let's just say it's like I don't know.
Most shit's replaceable to me. That's why. I mean, to me,
But let's just say it is a one-off piece of jewelry, and this thing is say 4 generations deep or something like that.
then it's important.
well, let's say it's a will.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, and a lot of money has been
That's
left
it.
to you, but you need to have the will. You need a copy of it. You need the.
But you're doing that
original.
more for the reward rather than like the thing. You're not doing that for the will, as in like you're not doing it because
It's
not
gonna
like
revert to
sentimental
this-
value.
It could.
thing.
It depends
it's-
what you're
Maybe the house I
You're
grew
going
up
after the
in.
will for what it gives you rather than like, oh,
Yeah.
I really want the will.
house. The house.
It could contain items of sentimental value, so therefore that would increase my motivation.
Would you go through a landfill for a winning Euro Millions ticket?
Depends.
But let's say you can't. None of that. None of that. Oh, I'd hire the world. Last jackpot was something like 34 million. Right. How long are you spending at a landfill looking for a lottery ticket for 34 million? Surely you got to spend more than a day. I'd spend more than a
I
day.
spent a few, maybe a week.
Just every day checking in.
It'd be
At
like
7 a.m.
24 hours, but like it depends. It's just a bit like you'd have after you look. I think you'll get a feel. I mean, when you buy it, like at a newsagent,
Yeah,
they
but
had to put the
you
number.
still have to
You
come
still
in
need
with
to
a
have something.
tangible. Yeah.
There
You
must
still need
be-
something.
That's why here's a perfect example or reason as to why you should get trash bins that are the same color as Jiraiya's earrings and or sweater
That's
because that business pink trash cans or
Yeah.
trash bags or whatever.
But then everyone gets them because they
I
get
know.
popular. And
yeah,
suddenly
true.
it's
That's
just
all
all
right.
of them.
Who cares? Because then we
Yeah.
blew up. Then
Yeah, true that.
we're still making mad cash. So
So then, which leads kind of to another quick further follow-up question. Are we now in a society that just doesn't really care about things anymore? Or do we care about things a
I
lot
guess
less
so.
than
I
we
don't
used to?
That's
agree
the
with
leap.
that. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, it's just,
That's taking the sentimental value. Like, there's a different argument there. Okay, yeah, maybe people are like, oh yeah, instead of like fixing something, you just go out and buy something new. But that wouldn't apply to a sentimental value situation.
But in a way, because things are so readily available.
No. I think that's a contradiction. Because it could be anything, it could be a white mug, but you're like a family relative, you used to use it all the time and you used to have a little like chit chat over coffee and biscuits or something. So even if there's 100 million of those, it's about why something, where there might be many or something, why it stands out to you. So it's not about how rare that object is to come by, but it's about the rarity of the meaning in your life.
because she shut you down. So stories of love and pain and cleaning
Got
and
head down, so it doesn't seem
and
like this is like a loving story. Right now.
bathtub,
Yeah,
bathrooms
it's
with
alright.
no light bulbs and shit. So what do you got for us today, darling?
Talking genitalia,
Oh yeah,
the best kind.
She needs her own show just for that. Those hot takes are fucking fire.
Well, this one actually, and it's funny. There's a couple of girls in my team. They're like, "Fuck," kind of thing. I'm like, I'm gonna have to be cooped up with my boyfriend, and I'm actually thinking actually, I don't mind that. I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, I'm just like, interesting. So
So they don't want to be cooped up. with
no,
their
they
boyfriends.
don't.
That's because your shit is new. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
Your
Because the
shit's
girl, like, it
Aye.
sounds like it's a bit like on its last legs a little bit.
What do you
Because
think?
also, actually, you know what? Like, I found like the younger girls on my team, they, yeah, we were talking about quarantine, but they're like, oh, I want to spend it with my girlfriends. It'll be so much fun. We'll cook, and we're like, whatever. Wow, I'm like the opposite. In a way, I mean, I love, like, obviously I like seeing my friends, but I can do like the kind of short spurts with them, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
oh, I spend an afternoon with them, maybe all day, but maybe the conversation is going to start to wane towards the end. Like, oh, we covered that? Oh, let's just talk about it again, you know, or whatever. I think that's why, like, I feel a lot more comfortable, like, with a boyfriend in a way, because then, like, you can...
Established relationship with the friends that you don't need that as much.
Oh, but I find it's the opposite. I mean, it doesn't
Well,
have
for
to be
your-
incessant,
For
but...
your friend, that's how it probably feels, and your colleague or whichever she is. I think because she's now had that same amount of time with the partner,
Yeah.
she doesn't need as much from him. She'd rather be out.
Even silence now comes from friends
Yeah.
rather than the other way around, possibly.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, because if you spend all the time with your other half, then, I mean, what new things do you have to talk about? I mean, yeah, there are some things, but maybe you're like, oh, I just want to go and see my friend, and they mentioned this, and it's like, oh, what do you think of that? It's because actually, Vincent was saying something to me the other day, but I said to him, that's not healthy, because he's got a few close friends and stuff. I'm like, go and hang out with them.
I think
You
it
know.
is healthy because your relationship's brand new.
Yeah.
He's starting to catch serious feelings for you, is what that means. And you're already talking about moving in and shit, which means that the podcast is gonna have to be taped on like Sundays now or some shit.
That's bullshit.
Because y'all gonna be
Actually,
all
who knows, maybe.
move out to the country or something.
My sister lives in Oxford. I can make it to Oxford.
What, every week?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every
Oh, maybe I
2
could hitch a ride with you.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah.
That's what's up then.
Well,
So,
if it's still going to be my neighbour for a while,
yeah.
my new neighbour.
Should be down the road.
Yeah, yeah. Just be like, road trip. Let's go.
So I think it just depends on the situation. Like, you'd rather spend time with something different than something that's at home. It's kind of like, I don't mind. I like what I want to do. But if I'm here all the time, I can't be here all the time. Like,
No.
when I go to the gym, I need, or if I'm going in London, that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my friends.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
my
yeah.
relationship. So I love it here, but I really need that sometimes. So
Yeah.
now if I'm quarantined here, like Kaz is self-quarantined. She can't leave because someone in her office might be paying her whatever alcohol is. I can't think right now. So, but she's drinking and hanging out,
Yeah.
drinking rum. She's a rum
Oh,
rum
sweet.
girl.
I mean, she has to work from home, right? Well, she's just like, sick leave, I guess, so you don't have to do...
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
don't,
depends.
I'm sure she's working, but I don't know what her job actually entails. And I know she's not a salesperson, so she's
Yeah.
not really doing what the job needs to be done in the office. So she's probably like email pinging and on phone calls.
I was going to say,
and
she's
shit.
just pinging and just catching up with other people who are doing the day-to-day
She
stuff.
can do that shit. She probably was glad she could be at home doing
Yeah.
that shit. She was like, fuck coming into this office
No
every day.
way.
Because she hates dealing with those young kids. They're like in their 20s and they're just like, man, I'm out of uni. Man. She's like, I hate this.
I kind of went off on a tangent there. But then, so I actually do think with this whole self-quarantine thing, and let's say if you're in a relationship and you live with your other half, I actually do feel domestic abuse incidences are going to go up. That's my feeling.
Oh.
Everything will start to annoy you. It's like, do you need to breathe every second? You know what I mean? So it's all like, yeah, I think that would happen. And also, like, especially like in London, I mean, not many people can afford like a decent sized place, so you're going to be on top of each other.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a good thing,
Yeah.
but most of the time, yeah, it's not going to be good. Actually, that's the thing. I was quite surprised. A few people were like, "Oh no, I want to come in."
They need that buffer.
Yeah.
Work is that buffer for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people can't be who they're relevant.
I was just like,
Jeez.
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
was, I don't care. He was my boss and he was a dick. So, but his woman wore the pants at home. So he would come into the bar and just be like, you know, rah, rah, rah. Because that's where he
He's
could.
just like, this is where I can assert my
Right.
dominance.
He could flex. He could come into work and he could flex on us. But he can't flex at home because his woman would be on the sofa, you know?
Yeah. So.
It's going to cause I'll tell you, it's going to cause breakup for things like, so for example, like for me, if I'm like throughout the day to make my day interesting, like I'd want to go to the gym at some point during the day, and I'd, you know, want to have some time to eat, and I'd want to have some time to play some games, and that'd be like my me time throughout the day. But obviously you can't always like stagger your me time with someone else who wants to also have their own me time, or maybe they don't. But like, and that's when it suddenly starts clashing, because you're like, look, this is my like we're here all day.
Yeah.
This is my like hour of like just my unwinding hour. Spending time with you is great, but something else is calling. I can't. There's too much of this.
But then I don't think you work it out, don't you?
Yeah,
like
you have to
stab her, go
But
on to the next.
That's where it goes wrong.
Or like
You
whatever.
start doing
Okay,
that.
cut
Why
you
does
off.
it go
but-
wrong, though? Why does it go wrong?
Because you start doing like these weird
You never
boundaries start
finish.
being set of like you say, and it's not your fault or any bad intention whatsoever. But someone says like, oh, you finished that level, and it's like, but it's not like that.
I don't know.
It's not that, and it's something that I need to get out of my system. And it's not like, oh, as soon as you're
Sure you're off that shit before then, or something's
but
gonna
then,
get
but
broken.
then the tension's already started. There's the tension. There's the tension right there, and it's already gone. And that's on day one. Like it just imagine.
But then usually it gets. I think you can work it out. You'll be able
It's
to
going
work
to
it
get
out.
worse. Because then it's going to be like, you played that shit yesterday for 3 hours. Like, you're going to have another 3 hours today? And you're going to be like, well, I can't do anything else? And then where do you go?
I think they would know there's a day.
But I
Or
don't
I'd
think
go
those
to.
gyms are going to close soon, right? So I don't even think
That's
you're
the
going
thing,
to have that
Yeah. How does that
external stimulus or whatever.
How many external
so,
stimuluses do you then have?
Yeah.
If you can't go to the pub or whatever your like
Cinemas
out
are
thing is.
closed, everything.
Wow.
you know what I
Can't
mean?
pub, can't cinema. Probably can't restaurant in most places.
Wow.
The
What about
places you could-
Deliveroo? Is that going to be working? Because I mean, I was thinking of going to Vincent's, but I'm like, he has
I don't know.
Yeah. I need a.
all the external
Message
stimulus
Deliveroo.
things go, and then what do?
That's not happening. Stop with the panic shit.
Nah, I think it will be happening.
It's
Stuck-
not
stuck up
happening.
on
But
hummus.
that's the
It's not
next
happening.
stage, isn't it?
No.
So yes, it is.
Fuck
it says,
the stage.
It says that it's like the next stage.
No.
That is the next stage.
No.
Yeah,
We're not
I
I know
getting
you
to the
don't
next
agree with that, but
stage.
that is the next. Or not.
And stuff like that. Like we're supposed to have drinks today at work, and they cancelled that. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, like so one of the officers, somebody had coronavirus. So yes, you know, good.
Stop buying all the toilet paper. Stop buying all the pasta. Everybody stop freaking the fuck out. And we're out of here. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's sad. Everyone's depressed. Liam's got to go, and they want to talk business. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe if you're listening to us on iTunes. And
Don't panic. Buy hummus.
don't panic. Yeah, don't buy hummus.
Buy hummus.
No.
Everybody go out and buy all
No.
the hummus.
I want him.
Just slap the shit out of them. We're out of here.
Bye.